Now, I can go ahead and pin a channel to the top of my team list, allowing me to see it separate from the team, just to keep certain channels across my teams organized. I'm going to go ahead and do that by going to the ellipses of my Project X channel and choosing to pin that channel, allowing it to be on the top of the list, where I have a pin section now, another new feature Microsoft Teams added. I want you to go ahead and spend about a second or two going across the teams that you have access to and pinning the channels that you go to more commonly than others to the very top of the list. Now, in the beginner course, we talk about updating the logo for your teams. It's very beneficial to do that if you're going to pin channels to the top of your list. Simply so you can see a little logo or an icon to help match the name of the channel in case there's duplicate channel names across teams. In case you don't know how to update teams' photos, if you are going to pin channels, just think about it, each team has a general channel. Just go ahead and manage your team. Now, once you manage the team, and you actually are an owner, you will have settings where you can update that team picture and upload a picture from your computer, allowing it to go ahead and display as the icon set right there. At this point in time, go ahead and try pinning a certain channel to the top of your list and going back if you want, or the location that we added it to. Talk soon, everybody. Go ahead and practice that pinning option for a few channels that you have access to across your teams. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you had a little fun playing around with pinning certain channels to the top of your team list. Now that we've built some channels, both standard and private, and customized our team list a bit, I want to start actually talking about using a channel, like creating posts, which Microsoft calls a modern day email. And we can actually do that down below in each and every channel that we have. I'm currently in the general channel. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, instead of starting a basic conversation with a one-line input box, I'm going to use the format button. That letter A is the format button. When you give it a click, it makes a much larger input box with a subject line and a body. I'm going to go ahead and make a post. I'm going to call it my first post to the team. Now with this post, I'm going to go ahead and add a body. I can go ahead and mention specific people inside of the team with an @ sign, and selecting their name from the list. I can mention channels if I need to. And that alerts everybody inside the channel. And if I want, I can alert everyone on the team, regardless of your channel, by mentioning the entire team. Now this is great. We're building a post, slowly but surely. And I can even go ahead and go as far as marking this post as important, because we can do that with emails as well. Now, if you don't see this exclamation point, it might be hidden inside the ellipses, depending on your screen size. I would like to go ahead and point out that now that we have a post with the subject line and a body, and a few other mentions that we've added in, there are some pretty cool things we can add into a post. Now, Microsoft Teams has emojis. We can go ahead and add those in. I even have GIFs that I can insert in. Let's pick a fitting one. I'll do this one here because I'm excited. And I even have stickers, more formally called memes. Be careful with these because you can customize them. And I just don't want someone coming in and getting a little upset about that meme you've created. Now that we have a bunch of content in this post, I want to point out that once Microsoft Teams was released, a lot of people requested the ability to be able to post into multiple channels. So I know I've started this in general, but I also want it inside of Project X. Now because of the fact that I don't have a file attached, I can do that. I can upload this post so I don't have to duplicate it by posting it in multiple channels, and then selecting the channels. I can select private and standard channels across all of the teams that I have access to, and then update the to line inside of my message. Now with this post, once we do send out a post, I'm going to go ahead and hit send. I want to go ahead and point out that a cross post will go ahead and show up with the little symbol letting people know that this post has been posted across multiple channels. Now keep in mind, even though a post has been posted across multiple channels, you can edit them. You can edit the post by going to the ellipses and just updating the message there. Now, with that being said, when we edit a post that's posted across multiple channels edited there, I want to go ahead and point out that the Project X one also got updated. It updates both of the channels, even though you've updated one of them. That's a feature that Microsoft has rolled out as well. So cross-channel updates, cross-channel posts are pretty useful. The big takeaway that I want people to notice is if a file was attached, my option to go ahead and post across multiple channels will be disabled from me. At this point in time, I want you all to practice on your own teams, building a post, adding in some of the fun stuff that we have here, and actually posting it across multiple channels. Once you've done that, try heading over to the ellipses of the post, try that out, and I'll see you all soon. Welcome back, everybody. So, hopefully you had a little bit fun creating your posts, and you got to experience how to use a mention. Just to let you know, you can also do that in Outlook. That adds people to the to line. Now, I do want to point out, about a few months ago, Microsoft released a new feature that kind of extends this. They're called tags. Now, what I can do is I can get a group of people, let's say Learn It instructor, or some one other person, and I can create a special tag, a special name, and I can use that tag to notify those people. So, with that being said, I want to go ahead and point out that I'm going to add in an additional member to my team. I'm going to go ahead and add in a member to my team here. Now, my organization does allow guests, so I'll go ahead and add in this guest account here. So we're allowed guests there. Now add them in. Great. So, now that we have some members in our teams, I want to go ahead and point out, instead of mentioning people one by one, I can go ahead and assign something called a tag. Now these tags will be great if I have large departments or little department groups that I can use to go ahead and ping and notify certain team members, as opposed to writing out each one of their names one by one. I'm going to manage my tags here and create one for my actual team. I'm just going to go ahead and build my first tag. And from there, we can actually go ahead and add people from the team, not our entire contact list, but from the team there. I can go ahead and add in my fast green guest, and I can add in my Learn It instructor, and I can create a tag. I want to point out tags can only be used inside of teams and not our chats. So, now that we have that, I'm going to go ahead and use this tag. Now, in order to use a tag, I'm just going to start a reply here. All we have to do is put in an @ sign. And instead of picking someone's name, we're just going to go ahead and type in some characters inside of our tag name. And we can go ahead and send that out. And that will alert Learn It instructor and my guest account that he's been notified for whatever reason that I needed to notify them. I want to point out that sometimes owners can disable using tags for their members, where only owners can use them. And we can do that over when we manage our team. I can go ahead and dive into the settings because I am an owner. And notice how there's an all-new tags setting that we have, where I can go ahead and control the permissions of who can create tags within my team. I'll go ahead and change that right for all members, including the owners. Great. Now that we've seen a little bit about playing with tags there, I want you to just pause this video and actually try building your first tag, and maybe adding a member or two, and then going and using that tag to make sure that it actually works. And always remember that you can manage your tags and access a list of your tags inside of the team list when you go over to your tags there. Alrighty, hopefully you had a little fun playing around with tags. Now that we're back, I want to go ahead and point out Microsoft has been updating this tool quite a lot since its release date in 2017. Now, these posts all live in the channels here that we've created. I currently have 2 posts. I want to go ahead and point out that some organizations use Teams internally and not externally. But some of our conversations are here, and it's great to know that we can sometimes share a post to Outlook. That way we can continue the conversation elsewhere if need be. Now, within each one of these posts, notice how we can go ahead and give it a reaction. Hopefully nobody's angry. Now, I want to go ahead and point out next to these reactions that we have, you're going to go ahead and notice there's an option inside the ellipses to go ahead and share to Outlook. Now when we click that, it's going to open up an Outlook module that will allow us to send an email to other people. We can encrypt it, insert our signatures. Let's go ahead and see how that looks by giving a click on Share to Outlook there. Alright, there's my Outlook little module there. Great. I want to go ahead and point out that we have our subject line filling in. We have the from line filling in for my email address. I can also add in people from my contacts. And on the very bottom, I can go ahead and scroll through this. And it's just building it inside of an email. In case I needed to attach an additional file, I can browse my computer or an additional cloud service like OneDrive or ShareFile or Dropbox or whatever your organization is using. If you have secure data, you can also encrypt this message as well. And inside of this ellipses, you're going to notice that you can insert signatures. And once you're happy with this message, you can also include more content into it. And you can go ahead and use these editing tools at the very bottom.
Is it free?
And then you can go ahead and just hit send. Using Teams is great, but knowing that we can go ahead and send out these posts will make it even more beneficial for us. Go ahead and try checking out the Share to Outlook button across your teams and channels and posts, and think of ideas on when you might be able to utilize that. I'm sure you're starting to realize that Teams has some pretty nifty features that are pretty well thought out. Microsoft likes to see what people are using it for, and then they build the features based off that in user voice. With that being said, let's go ahead and point out that the entire time that I've been working inside of this software, I've been using the Teams tab over here. I built a team, I had a couple channels, a private and a standard, and we're allowed to make posts. We all know that some of these posts can have files and you can add them as tabs. We learn in our beginner videos. Now, with that being said, I want to shift gears a little bit. And I want to focus on the new additions to chat and how we can take advantage of chat as opposed to working with a group having spin-off conversations or instant messaging within the organization. So, I want to go ahead and point out that you can always navigate the chat by clicking and starting a new chat by clicking on the new chat button. Just how in Outlook, when you wanted to start a new email, you can hit
He's going to collect my 1 hour.
What is it? I didn't hear you.
Go to your account.
I'm supposed to my account.
And the organizer.
Okay. New meeting.
It's inside. So I'm not scanning it. So it's within the app that you added. Like an add-on. Start a meeting.
Okay. Let me just use this calendar that I already created.
Very good.
No, the meeting I already created. Rather.
And then
Yeah.
options, go to options. See them.
What should I do?
I don't know.
What should I add? YouTube.
Another one. Habit.
Welcome to constant stream. Okay, I should save. See what they say. You don't have streaming permission. Press contact the actual administrator or the organizer or the organizer to stream this content.
To give you the list. The organizer was created by you. Which allowed me this to move before. So then when it's full, that's when it means. When the settings, I don't know, let me see if there's something I can do from my end. I thought probably someone like a phone. Yes, sir.
They asked someone to draw something for Emmanuel. So, because Emmanuel will be around
Okay.
I need to give you that access for that to it's something I can do from my head.
Hmm.
What is that man doing here? find it in both the environment. Let me check. There's something I can do from my end, but I doubt. I think I'm having issues with my account, but I have two accounts. Just checking. I'm not sure. There's something I can do from my end. Okay, now. Okay, so it's an admin issue, it's not something I can do. Probably someone like perform infrastructure.
Probably need to be able to use an add-on.
So he's the one that can create that permission for some specific users. So, okay. Also, just drop by a message on Teams. Just drop by a message. For which one? Okay. No, no, no. No, 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 well, just drop a message in chat. Yeah, man. I don't know what's up. Just drop a message. All right, now. So, from what I can see, it's a very precise. So you can enable it globally for everybody, or can enable it, it all contains, it's all contained for some group of persons. The reason why is just in case it's a policy thing, so someone will not want the mistakenly go and stream meeting that is returned onto YouTube. You understand? So it's a policy thing, but then you don't need it at the app. see it now. Just have to enable it. But then again, this one that I have here